But as far as rookie camp is concerned, I was really, really intrigued by what I saw from quarterback Taylen Green.
I'm going to say, I think I'm going to say KC. I think I'm going to say KC because I think he's going to bring a lot to the table. And I think they're going to play him a lot early on. And I think he's going to show out really well.
The Cleveland Browns might finally have a rookie class that can change the feel of this whole team. But Mary Kay Cabot made one thing very clear. None of it matters if the quarterback battle turns messy. That is the tension sitting over everything right now. Because when you look at this roster, you can see the pieces. You can see the defense, you can see the young weapons, you can see the new energy from minicamp, but then you come right back to the same question Browns fans have been stuck asking for years. Who is actually going to pull it all together under center? Mary Kay came away from rookie minicamp sounding a lot more optimistic than some fans probably expected. She said this rookie class looks like it can contribute right away and help the Browns win games this season. And that matters because Cleveland is not acting like a team trying to bottom out. The marching orders are clear. This team is trying to win in 2026. Mary Kay even said she sees a roster that can win around 8 to 10 games if things go well, and maybe hang around the wildcard conversation in December if the quarterback play is good enough. That is not Super Bowl talk, but it is not rebuild talk either.
That's what I'm seeing when I look out there, and I still see a championship caliber defense and now a completely overhauled offense. So I do think the future looks pretty bright for this season, and they're going to try to win.
Here's the part nobody is talking about. The Browns' floor might be higher than people think because the defense still looks championship caliber. That gives Cleveland a real chance to stay competitive even if the offense is still figuring itself out. But the offense has been completely rebuilt, and that creates both excitement and danger. New receivers, new offensive pieces, new quarterback competition, new chemistry, new timing. It all sounds great in May, but if the quarterback position does not settle quickly, this whole thing can get complicated fast. The rookie who grabbed Mary Kay's attention the most was Taylen Green. She talked about the arm strength, the spin on the football, the movement skills, and how tall he looks on the field. That is the kind of quarterback who can make a practice feel exciting immediately. He's big, athletic, and physically gifted enough to make coaches start thinking creatively. And while nobody is acting like he's about to walk in and win the starting job, Mary Kay made it clear he could have a role early if the Browns are smart about it.
From what I could see, just looking at him, traits-wise, I did see good spin on the ball. Obviously, we saw the good size. Obviously, we saw the good speed. 4.36. We saw that in action a couple of times. We know he set the QB record for the vertical leap and the broad jump at the combine.
This is where it gets dangerous, because Taylen Green is the kind of player who can tempt a coaching staff into building special packages right away. Mary Kay brought up short yardage, goal line situations, 4th and 1 sneaks, and 4-minute offense. And honestly, it makes sense. He's 6'6", he runs extremely well, and he scored 35 rushing touchdowns in college. That kind of athletic profile forces defensive coordinators to spend time preparing for him, even if he's not the starter. That alone has value. If a defense has to waste practice time worrying about a package quarterback, that helps the regular offense. But there is one major red flag that cannot be ignored: turnovers. Mary Kay pointed out that Green had 37 turnovers over his last 2 years at Arkansas, with 20 interceptions and 17 fumbles. That is not a small issue. That's the difference between being a dangerous weapon and being too risky to trust in high-leverage moments. She made it clear his hand size is not the problem, so the Browns have to figure out the real cause. Is it pocket awareness, ball security habits, decision-making, trying to do too much? Whatever it is, it has to get fixed fast. This is where young players usually make a mistake. They think their athletic ability can erase bad habits. In college, a quarterback like Green can sometimes survive by being bigger, faster, and more explosive than everyone else. In the NFL, one loose carry or one late throw can flip an entire game. So if Cleveland wants to use him near the goal line or in short yardage packages, he has to protect the ball. You cannot bring in a special package quarterback on 4th and 1 and then watch the ball hit the ground. That is how coaches lose trust immediately.
But as far as rookie camp is concerned, I was really, really intrigued by what I saw from quarterback Taylen Green. The arm strength is there. He puts good spin on the ball. he moves like the wind, and he's extremely tall. So that's exciting, that's fun, and I think it's going to make for a very, very lively training camp.
Mary Kay also mentioned something Todd Monken has already pointed out. Green needs to tighten up his release, especially on shorter throws. The big arm is there, but the NFL is about speed and timing. On checkdowns and underneath routes, the ball has to come out quickly. You cannot have a long, loopy motion when linebackers and safeties are closing windows instantly. That is the kind of detail that separates a flashy athlete from a usable NFL quarterback. The good news is Green has played a lot of football. He has 46 college starts, so the stage should not be too big for him. The bad news is the details still need work. Then you get to the receivers, and that is where Mary Kay sounded genuinely excited. She said the young receivers caught pretty much everything that came their way. Casey Concepcion had one early drop, but Mary Kay brushed it off as rookie nerves and said he bounced back quickly. That is important because fans immediately overreact to one dropped pass in May like the season is already finished. But from her view, Concepcion looked good, moved well, and made plays even while coming off a knee scope in March. That is a very encouraging sign.
Well, Casey has not signed yet, but these guys have some injury waivers and some injury protection clauses and whatnot to be able to get out there and practice. Now, he was slightly limited because he's coming off of a knee scope in March, but you never would have known that. I thought he looked really, really good. He just because of jitters, he dropped one of his first passes, but that on air, but that was nothing. I mean, that's like, okay, I'm here in rookie camp. I'm going to get this out of the way right now and then move forward. And he did just that.
Here's the part nobody is talking about. Concepcion practicing before signing his deal tells you something about his mentality. He had injury protections and waivers in place, but still, not every player is eager to be out there while contract details are unfinished. He wanted to work. And even though he was slightly limited, Mary Kay said you would not have known it by watching him. For Browns fans, that should matter. This offense needs young players who are not waiting around. It needs guys who want to grab reps immediately and force their way into the plan. Denzel Boston might be the receiver who changes the actual shape of the offense. Mary Kay described him as big, sure-handed, and someone who can help the Browns play tall ball. That phrase matters. Cleveland has needed a bigger target who can create mismatches, win contested catches, and give quarterbacks more room for error. Boston being 6'4" gives this team something it has not really had in the receiver room. Pair him with Harold Fannin, another big target at tight end, and suddenly the Browns can attack defenses differently. This is where it gets dangerous for opposing secondaries. If the Browns can put bigger pass catchers on the field while still keeping explosive players involved, they can create matchup problems everywhere. Smaller corners have to deal with size. Linebackers have to deal with tight ends who can move. Safeties have to decide whether to help outside or protect the middle. That is how an offense becomes harder to predict. And for a quarterback room that still has questions, bigger targets can make life a lot easier.
But guess what? They've got a couple of the best cornerbacks in the NFL to teach them the ropes in Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell. And I'll tell you what, by the time these guys get done with training camp, they are going to know the ins and outs of what really good cornerbacks are going to be doing.
Rookie receivers improve fastest when they're tested by real corners every single day. And that is exactly what Boston and Concepcion are about to get, going up against Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell in training camp. You can look good in rookie minicamp against rookies and tryout players, but training camp against veteran defenders is where the truth starts coming out. If Boston can win reps there, the hype becomes real. And that brings everything back to the quarterback battle. Mary Kay stood by her report that Deshaun Watson was ahead of Shedeur Sanders coming out of voluntary minicamp. Her point was simple. Watson being ahead right now should not shock anyone. He's a former first-round pick, a 3-time Pro Bowler, and a quarterback with playoff experience. In a May practice setting, that matters. But she also made sure to say being ahead right now does not mean Watson has won the job. Inside track does not mean finish line. Here's the part nobody is talking about. Shedeur Sanders does not need to win the job today to still be the biggest storyline in Cleveland. All he needs to do is keep improving and make the coaches uncomfortable. If he closes the gap during training camp, this becomes a real battle. And if he shows leadership, accuracy, and command, the fan base is going to get louder by the day. That is just the reality. Mary Kay even said Andrew Berry knocked this draft out of the park. Between Concepcion's explosiveness, Boston's size, Fannon's mismatchability, and the rest of this class, there is real energy here. This does not feel like a rookie group that will sit quietly for a year. But here's the brutal truth that never changes in Cleveland. The defense gives them hope, the rookies give them hope, the talent gives them hope. Then, the quarterback question drags everything back into uncertainty. The Browns have a roster that can compete, but the quarterback play will determine whether this is an 8-win team, a 10-win team, or something worse. And right now, nobody inside that building has answered that question yet.